Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anna Milbach, and I'm a government and higher education banker with U.S. Bank. And I'm excited to introduce you to our panelists here in a couple minutes. But first, we want to make sure that you have the materials that you're going to need for this session. Everyone should have a binder in your bags, if you can dig that out. And then in the front cover, Holly will show you what it looks like here. We've got a handout on goals. If you don't have it, Joe here in the front row can drop one off. So just raise your hands and he'll come to you. Great, well, keep your hands up, and I'm just going to start with a little explanation of what we're going to be covering. No matter your age or stage in life, financial resilience is possible and powerful. This session is designed to help women take charge of their financial futures by setting purposeful, achievable goals. Together, we'll explore the key elements of financial resilience, how to build habits that support long-term stability, and create a vision for your financial life that reflects your values and dreams on your terms. Here with me today is Holly Kierstead. Holly is a seasoned banking professional with over 2 decades of experience in the financial services industry. Her career began unexpectedly as a part-time teller immediately after high school. And through dedication and a passion for leadership, she advanced through a variety of roles, including personal banker, teller supervisor, assistant manager, and ultimately branch manager. After a decade in that role at U.S. Bank, Holly's exceptional leadership and strategic insight earned her a promotion to senior manager with continued advancement to lead manager. Holly is deeply committed to coaching and empowering others, whether employees, peers, customers, or her own children, probably like many of you. She believes in the power of intentional guidance and effort to help individuals realize their goals. Her coaching extends beyond the workplace through active involvement in mentoring programs, business resource groups, university outreach, and community service. She has served as a den leader for the Cub Scouts, a Sunday school teacher, and a job coach for students with disabilities in the K-12 system. As a certified personal financial consultant with a proven track record of fostering personal, professional, and financial growth in others, Holly brings a wealth of experience and inspiration to the conversation on financial resilience. Joining Holly today is Anna Salazar. Anna is a seasoned financial services leader with over 32 years of experience in the banking industry. Her career began as an accidental banker, working as a teller and personal banker while finishing her higher education. What started as a part-time role quickly evolved into a lifelong passion for helping others, leading Anna to remain in the industry after graduation. Throughout her career, Anna has held a variety of roles, including customer service representative, banker, and branch manager. For the past 17 years, she has been a valued leader at U.S. Bank, where she currently manages the Goal Coaches team, a role she has held for the past 5 years. In this capacity, Anna empowers individuals to define and achieve their personal and professional aspirations through tailored coaching strategies. Anna is an International Coaching Federation accredited coach specializing in financial wellness and positive psychology. She integrates diverse coaching methodologies to help clients connect with their vision, break through limitations, and establish sustainable behavioral and financial habits. Her work is grounded in the belief that with the right guidance and mindset, anyone can build a resilient financial future. So please help me welcome Holly and Anna.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with all of you today. So thank you for having us and thank you for joining us. Today we're going to tell you a little bit more about our goals coaching program. You all can hear me okay? Okay. So with our goals coaching program, it's a financial wellness program that really promotes those positive habit changes and behaviors to help you achieve those personal, professional, and financial goals, and all of it at no cost to you. So when I'm meeting with my clients one-on-one, I'm actually going to have you go to the next slide. And since we can't, I don't want to keep looking up here, so I'm just going to refer to my notes on my paper just a little bit. But as I'm working with my clients, when I'm meeting them one-on-one, they will often schedule a goals coaching introductory session with me or a goals discovery session with me. And this is one of the forms that I'll send them ahead of time, so that way they get a chance to look and see maybe some goals that are, resonating more with them than others. And sometimes when they meet with us, they're not sure what their goals are specifically, which is, part of what we do when we're meeting with them one-on-one. So another thing with our goals coaching program is we meet one-on-one with our goals coaching clients, but then we also provide financial wellness via seminars, webinars, and then panels such as this one as well. So before we share some interesting research on the Financial Resilience Institute, I just want you to start thinking about a goal that you've had in mind for a while. Or, maybe it's something that you've shared aloud, or maybe just something that you've kept to yourself. Maybe it's something that you've got limiting beliefs holding you back on even starting those goals. So just really start thinking about some goals that you have, even if it's just one. Or maybe it's a goal that you've had in the past and you've failed to achieve that goal. Whatever it is, be thinking about it. We'll come back to those. Maybe it's one that you simply haven't had enough support or didn't feel like you've had enough support in the past. And shortly, I'll talk about walking through the steps to help achieving those goals and really what it's going to take to help you stay motivated and on track to achieving them. And then I'll also tell you more or share more information with you on how to get in touch with us as goals coaching with US Bank. I'll pass it over to Anna.
I'm gonna break our necks looking up there. It's larger than life. Love it. So today's rapidly changing world, being resilient is not just a skill, right? It's essential to us, especially as women, taking on obstacles and challenges that get thrown our way throughout our lifespan. By understanding where we land in the financial resilience spectrum, we'll gain clarity so that we can tackle our goals and so that we can increase our percentage of achieving them. The resources and tools that we're going to share with you guys today, take them with you. You've already started the journey by even being here, right? Learning, opening your mind. So continue this trajectory once you get home and utilize everything that's in your binders, all the notes that you've taken today and what you learned here so that you can start taking action on those goals. So we're going to ask that you turn your attention to the workbooks. For those who came in later, they're in your binder. And if somebody doesn't have one, Joe can run a copy up for you real quick if you just raise your hand. First thing I'm going to ask you to do is take a picture of the QR code and then save that page for later that you can refer to and just later on today or after you leave here. Today, we're going to be covering the Financial Resilience Institute work. And what these guys do is they measure household financial resilience based on 9, you have them up here, based on 9 indicators. So the first one is the debt management composite. So they're going to look at how well you handle your debts, right? Do you make your payments on time? Are you incurring late fees? Being able to plan ahead financially for upcoming expected and unexpected expenses, as well as being able to save for long-term goals. So your ability to pay bills and still set some money aside. So we've been hearing about this all day, right? Make sure you pay yourself, make sure that you automate some money, a percentage of the money to go into a separate account. So should something happen, you have that fund there handy for you. Then we have change in household financial situation. So a lot of us maybe are ready to handle a 2-month, a 3-month, maybe break in income or something unexpected happen. But how many of us can really take care of the situation if it lasted a full year? I think that would be very, very hard. Social capital, do we have somebody close to us that can bail us out? Somebody that we trust that can help us out? Somebody that we repay back when we're better? Liquid savings buffer, this is cash, money that you have in a savings account that you can easily access without paying penalties, without paying fees. We have the self-reported credit score. Do you have an idea where you're at in your credit score? A lot of times when we do this, people say, oh, within maybe 20 points. Some people don't really have an idea, but you need to know where you're at so that you know if you're going to be a good candidate, should we need to be able to obtain some lending and get you out of a bind. Do we have confidence and ability to meet short-term goals? So do we have money for that vacation? Do we have money to put down on a payment? Or should something break in the house? Can we replace a washer, a dryer? We have financial stress composite. So this is how confident we are to be able to survive these stressors. And then financial stress over current and future financial obligations, which we all stress about bills at some point, right? But when things are out of our control, the economy, rates may go up, may go down, terms on a credit card may change. Do we have a loan that's variable? So as you can see, you have the financially healthy on one side, the financial resilience, and then when we're suffering stress on the other side. So what I'm going to ask you guys is to grab a pen, and we're going to go to page 1 on our workbook. And I want to share a story. I've worked with many people altogether, but many women that have struggled just even keeping the lights on at the house, right, for their kids. And with practice, having a coach, and I want to make sure that we understand that a coach is different than a financial planner. Financial planner is what you heard outside, right? A coach is somebody who's going to help you create better habits. Is going to help you figure out what obstacles may be coming out, help you be prepared for those. But when you have a relationship with a coach, you drive that relationship. It's about your goals. So we just kind of hold a mirror and a flashlight and help you guide the way through that journey. And in doing so, I had a client who she was in bad shape. She didn't know what she was going to do. We ended up looking at her expenses. We ended up creating a budget in which she could put a little bit of money aside every time, $40. She felt like it wasn't much, but it started making a difference. And in time, and that's where we're going to talk about goals and how to set them up correctly, but if you give yourself the right amount of time and some grace through the process, you will make it on the other side. And she was able to pay most of her credit cards down to the point where they were not a burden anymore, and she was able to save some money. And I was so proud of her to be able to do that. And all of us can do that, but we need to find our starting point, and that's what we're going to do today. So as you look on your page 1, we've got explanation of what it means to be extremely vulnerable, financially vulnerable, approaching resilience, and financially resilient. We're going to ask you that you take a few moments right now to read through the descriptors and put a check mark next to where you feel you are right now. So we'll give you a couple minutes to do that. You're welcome to take the full assessment at your convenience. We have put the link there, and then you can take the full length with all of the 9 indicators. We just have at the end of the page for you. And it's a little hard to see it at the top with that spotlight shining. But as I see some heads up or hands up, we'll know next time. I've had enough time to do that portion. Show of hands. Who's done? All right. So we'll move on to you for you on it. So the Financial Resilience Institute in June of 2021 revealed that 4.65 million people, which is 18% of those surveyed, rated themselves as extremely vulnerable. So the categories that we looked at before, they got the highest rating. And then 7.86 million people, that's 29%, were financially vulnerable. That's half of the population surveyed. So as we look at your rating today, if you're in one of those two categories, know that you're not alone. A lot of people fall within that rating. But remember, that's just your starting point, because you're taking action as of today. I'd like to share another story. This is of a client who came in. She was going for a divorce, and her husband would always tell her that she wasn't good with bills, that she didn't know how to handle the situation. She had lost a lot of confidence in herself. Things were not very good. As we started coaching and we started talking, I just asked her, how do you feel? How do you feel you? And it turns out that she felt about herself different than what she was always told. But she believed what she was told. And I think a lot of us have underlying limiting beliefs within us, whether they're familiar, somebody from our family that constantly says something that we just end up believing, maybe since we were children. There's culture. I helped another client who thought she could never own a house. And when we looked at her situation, she made enough money. She was able to qualify, but something always happened before closing. So in talking to her, we ended up discovering that in her culture, as a female, you should never have more than your parents have, and her parents did not own a house. And she felt guilty, and ended up, for one reason or another, sabotaging it. She had tried twice. So we had to work on helping her understand that it was okay for her to do better for herself, that she's in a different country. And that although she needs to respect her cultural beliefs, in talking with her family and even inviting them to come live with her, they could find a resolution. And she was able to do that. It took 2 years, but she was able to buy a house and fulfill her goal. So we need to figure out what are those limiting beliefs that are holding us back so that we can become more resilient, so that we can move forward in our journey towards financial wellness. I'm going to ask you to move to page 2 in your workbook. And everybody's giving you a lot of tips today, right? So we're going to give you a few more. So activate your learning. You've already started today. You came here, you're learning from a bunch of different experts. Look to join learning circles, webinars, workshops on topics that resonate with you. A lot of them may be through your workplace. You're able to find those BRG groups on topics that are important to you, especially financial. Or you can meet with one of us. You can practice awareness, be intentional of your thoughts and attitudes around money and finances. We talked a lot outside about money mindset. Make sure that your mind is open to receive. Make sure that your mind is willing to learn different tactics, techniques. And then deepen your connection with money. It's okay to like money. It's okay to want to have money. It doesn't mean you're greedy, right? Just manage it correctly. But it is okay for you to have money. And pay attention to those routines, those internal conversations that happen in the back of your mind. Whose tape is it playing? Is it your voice? Is it your parents? Is it somebody telling you that you can't do it? Because you can break free for that. Actually, we were talking about that earlier. Do you feel okay sharing your story?
Yeah, thank you. So we were talking about money mindset and, my beliefs growing up, and one that I can share is, so I grew up with a single mom, and I've got 2 older sisters, so I've got a single mom raising 3 of us girls, and one thing that I saw as I was growing up with my mother, she was a hard worker, and that was something that was important to her, and something that she stressed to us was, you need to earn a living and you need to work for the things that you want in life. And so she had a great work ethic. So that was something, the more I think about it now, that I wanted to make sure I have as well, and something that I taught to my children and taught them as well. So for me, a great work ethic is super important. But when it came to finances, sure, she made sure she paid her bills on time, but she never saved any money. I don't know what she did with all of her money. I mean, we were moving from house to house or apartment to apartment. So we didn't have a house growing up. It was, an apartment, and that's just what I was used to. So for me, I wanted to do some things different than what I saw growing up. And I wanted to make sure I had a savings account. I wanted to make sure that I was able to save money to be able to take my family on vacation, because that was not something that I was able to do as a kid. Another thing too would be, growing up in a new neighborhood, and like we saw earlier, maybe I didn't have the shoes that all the other kids had in the neighborhood or that backpack. So it's something for me, I want to be able to provide some of those things that my kids need, but also some of those things that they're going to want. So I want to be able to make sure that I, have the means to live within my means, save my money, have those different buckets. And so that's a part of my money mindset and my money beliefs, some of those things that I saw growing up. So
Thank you, Molly, for sharing that. And as coaches, that's probably 70% of the work that we do, just getting into the mindset, ensuring that we create a new behavior, a new routine, a new way of thinking. SMART goals, creating SMART goals around your finances, both for short-term and long-term goals. So we just heard before coming in here, what was the quote? She said, hope is not a strategy, right? So you have to set a goal. You have to make sure that it's timely. And Holly will cover more about this, but you got to make sure that you take that first step towards achieving your goal. Just setting the goal is the beginning. That's the almost easy part, is what you're going to do right after. And then plan your actions around your finances. Ask for accountability. And don't ask for accountability that friend that's going to give you a break. Ask for accountability for someone who will hold you accountable, who will call you on it when you say, hey, I'm not going to spend money this weekend, and then you're out there shopping, that they'll tell you, hey, didn't you say you were going to spend money this weekend? Or somebody who can remind you how important your goal is, and is going to be there to support you through it. This could be family members, coaches, mentors, friends, just somebody that you trust. And today we're going to practice these last two steps. So I'm going to turn it over to Holly so that she can help us start creating some goals.
Thank you. So we can go on to the next slide here. And this one shows us what SMART goals is really all about. So if we look at the first one and kind of just break down all of those letters, the first one, so for the S, that breaks it down into specific. And when you think about your goals, you want to make them as specific to you as you can. Like, what is important to you? And again, in that last example, right before we had come in here, she had talked about her daughter had the $60 in that savings account to get her nails done. That was a very specific goal. Now, when I have clients that, are meeting with me and we are going through their goals discovery and setting their goals, sometimes they'll say, I want to be able to live within my means. Well, what does that mean to you? How are you going to know when you achieve that goal? So really thinking about specifically, what are you trying to accomplish? How are you going to know when you achieve it? So that way you know specifically what it is that you're out to achieve and accomplish. The second one is measurable. How will you know when you've reached your goal? What will it feel like? And a lot of times I'll ask my clients, how are you going to know? What will that feel like? So usually, goal setting and goal accomplishment, you're going to have some sort of feeling when you've accomplished that goal. Are you going to feel super excited? Are you going to feel overjoyed? Are you going to, what feeling are you going to have? And sometimes that's kind of hard to determine too. So really trying to break it down and think, again, more specifically. The next one is attainable. Is attaining this goal realistic with effort and commitment? Do you have the resources to achieve this goal? And can you find them? Those resources. So again, thinking, is this really an attainable goal? You don't want it so far out of reach if you have to. You can break those goals into smaller goals to make sure they are attainable for you.
Can I interrupt you there for a second? I think that's why today is so important, because you have so many tools and resources that you're collecting today to help you. So don't forget them.
Yep, and then relevant. Why is this goal important to you? And this is one of my favorite questions when I am going through the goals discovery process with my clients is, why is this goal important to you? Because usually that is going to be the motivating factor to help keep you on track to work towards achieving that goal. And then again, if you do end up getting off track or if there's some roadblocks along the way, I will come back to this question and just remind you, tell me again, why is this goal important to you? And then that'll give you, all the more reason to want to start working towards achieving it or get back on track. And then that last one, the T is for time bound. When will you achieve this goal? It's important to consider a realistic time frame to set yourself up for that success. Again, realistic thinking, am I going to be able to save $10,000 in 6 months? For me, that most definitely would be realistic, so I want to make sure I break it down, make it specific enough, and if I have to, make it a little bit of a longer term goal if I really want to hit that target. Whatever it is, realistically thinking, how long is it going to take me to achieve this? If I worked on it in the past, have I been able to accomplish it? How long did it take me? If I wasn't able to accomplish it, could I do it in a longer time frame? So again, all these SMART goals is making them specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and then time bound.
And a lot of people think that if you set a goal, like this is the goal, this is the end all, I'm either gonna make it or I'm not gonna make it, and that's not the case. So many times we work with people and we have to pivot because of circumstances, because of things that happen. Give yourself grace, just rework it. And another part of goal setting, if you really want to be successful, is the milestones. What are those milestones that are going to help you get there? What do you need to achieve first so that then you can move to the next step, so that you can move to the next step? So in a goal of saving $10,000, we're not going to start with, hey, we're going to save $10,000. What can we do today? And then how can we help that money grow? How can we change our behaviors and habits so that we don't touch it? How can we set ourselves up for success? By having, a line of credit or having other ways in which we can protect that money. So all of that goes into creating your goals.
Yep, so which will have you actually start doing now. So on page 2, that second step here is to take a minute just to fill out your worksheet on the SMART goals. So you're going to set, fill in each one of those, the SMART or the specific measurable. So I'll give you a couple of minutes just to fill in yours. And now again, saving $10,000, it sounds a little bit specific, but we can get more specific by saying, why do I want to save this $10,000? What is it? What am I saving for? So that way I know how I'm going to achieve that goal or what it's for. It's going to give me more motivation if I know all of that.
The hardest part is not to end up with 5 separate goals, one for each letter, but to put them all together into one.
And I'll tell you, when we're meeting with clients one-on-one, this is probably the most challenging part, is actually creating the goals and setting the goals. Because there's so much more to think about that actually goes into trying to make it specific. So we'll take our 1 hour long session, and it'll take our full session to complete their goals discovery. Because that's how important it is for them to make sure that they have those specific and measurable goals. So even though we're only giving you a couple of minutes, it doesn't have to be your, be all end all. This is just to start for you all. All right, how many of us by show of hands have some of this filled in now? Okay, so you can continue to fill those in, but on the next page, we have our action planning portion here. And with the action planning, this is going to give you some space to create the action plan and to consider any obstacles or challenges that you may face along the way. And those are really essential to think about and think through as you consider, really what you want to achieve.
I had a client and her goal was to run the Boston Marathon. And when I first met with her, I'm thinking, I don't even know about running. I don't know anything about running. Like, I'm going to help her. And we started going through the process. And not only did I learn so much about it, but everything that goes into it. She needed to win a race within a certain period of time to qualify. So that was one of her milestones. Part of her action plan is that then she needed to run in increments every single day until she could run a certain number of miles. Then she needed equipment, make sure that her shoes were the right type, and she needed to have a water camel and other things. When we started doing the obstacle piece and challenges, she mentioned that she had tried this once before, and she failed. So I said, okay, well, let's prepare for obstacles, right? Just because you failed at something once doesn't mean you're going to fail again. You just have to take a different approach. So how are we going to do this differently? And she decided that she wanted to hire somebody to help with her nutrition. She made an arrangement with her boss for 2 months to change her working hours so that she could run in the morning and so that she could run at night as well. And just seeing all of this, right? And then the financial burden that she felt she was putting on her family, because now she had to pay a nutritionist. She had somebody who assisted her with her training, some stuff that she needed to buy. So she needed to budget for that as well. And in this course of, I think it was about 3.5, 4 months, she prepared herself. And the first race that she was going to run was at Mount Charleston, up in Las Vegas. And she said she had done it before, and she had stopped within 2 hours into it. So I said, okay. Then our milestone, our goal, is for you to think that you're just going to go a little bit further. One step, one more stride. One step, one more stride. So she sent me the app so that I could see her on the phone as she was running the race. And every so often I would just send her messages like, hey, you can do this. You've got this. You've trained for this. You know how this feels. Your body's going to start giving up. You can do this. And she didn't finish the race. At one point the doc stopped. And I felt like, oh no. Something with you, we not prepare, right? What happened, right? And it so happened that she twisted her foot and she had to stop. But she said that the preparation and going through the process helped her so much. She signed up for the race the next go round in a different city because it was her last chance. And she finished and she qualified. And she was able to, I'm getting chills, she was able to make it to Boston. We can do unimaginable things. We just need to plan for them. We just need to be prepared for them. We need to want them. And we need to be ready for those obstacles that are going to come, because they're going to come. Life is all about learning. So let's be prepared so that we can get through these obstacles, challenges, opportunities for growth, and keep going.
Another part of getting through the obstacles, getting through some of our excuses. Like, to be frank, sometimes we're pretty good at coming up with excuses. Like, I don't want to go to the gym today because I don't feel like it. Or, I've got too much going on, I don't have enough time. Well, realistically, I probably have plenty of time to go, but I have to really want it, and I have to know why it's important to me. So again, take this with you, this sheet here, to lay out your path to help you achieve those goals. And if you think you could use some support, an accountability person or an accountability partner, please, by all means, reach out to one of us as a goals coach. On the next slide, we have some of our resources here that you can take with you as well. And you can scan this QR code. We coach, like I said, on various topics, and we coach many different individuals of all walks of life with all different income levels. From the age of 18 and older, I think my youngest client that I work one-on-one with is 18. My oldest is in her 70s. So I'll tell you, everybody from any age and in between, we all have goals, no matter how old we are. And it's just, if you really think it would be helpful to have that accountability partner, we are here to help you. And on that next slide, this just will show us as goals coaches. We all have different backgrounds, different bios, so I'd encourage you to scan this QR code as well. Oh, we don't have a QR code here, it's on the front of your workbook. But you can scan that, you can watch our bios, you can see which goal you feel like you would connect the most with. Meet with one of us. One thing that I'll tell you is if you go and try to schedule a session with me, if it's 15 minutes or the full hour-long goals discovery, my calendar might look intimidating, it might look like I don't have anything available. There's a lot of individuals that really appreciate and enjoy this free resource for them. So my calendar's booked out a couple of weeks, like a solid couple of weeks, but don't let that stop you from scheduling it. Schedule it 3 weeks out if you have to. I don't know about the other coaches, I feel like we're all pretty back-to-back with these, but we are here, even if it's a couple of weeks out, and then from there, we will work with you on scheduling the next session, whatever that may look like for you. And again, it's all at no cost to you.
So take advantage of it. This is one of those that you just have to activate and take action, because it won't cost you anything. We wanted to share this resource with you guys as well. We talked about activating learning. You heard a lot today about educating yourself so that you can make the right decisions, that you're not anxious when you make financial choices. So you're able to scan that QR code way up there. I'll bring my neck all the way up. But that has the upcoming financial education webinars and workshops for this year. So if any of those topics look like they interest you, scan the QR code, register. Once again, it's all free. And then just come in, listen, participate, learn, meet with a coach, or get yourself going with the action planning that you have there in front of you. But we're all here to support you. We're all in this together. So thank you guys for attending today. I'm going to turn it over to Anna for some Q&A.
Well, I hope you had an opportunity to think about what the next steps for you are. We do have some questions that we can ask, but we would love to answer questions from the audience. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. I'll kick us off with one to get us rolling. If I have a lot of debt, where is a good place to start?
At the beginning. So the best place to start is by taking an accounting of what you have out there. Some people will go to freeannualcreditreport.com, they'll get a credit report and see what's actually on their credit report. But what we suggest when we meet with you, we may give you homework. And if this is one of the things that you're looking at getting better at, we'll ask you to bring a list, make a list. What are all of your debts? What are the interest rates? What are those balances? Variable cards, we can keep for a long time, but if it's a car payment or a house, what is the due date? What are those terms? So that we can see, right? Sometimes there's consolidations that we can do that will lower the payment, in turn put some money back in your pocket, or you can pay extra and get ahead and actually pay things off. You can do that through a home equity or a personal line. Other times it's simpler things. Hey, have you called your credit card company in the last 12 months and seen if there's a special rate that they can offer? Is there a 0% that we can move it to with a plan that we're going to pay extra and make sure that we get it paid off by the time that 0% expires? This is not about just pushing that debt forward and pushing it forward. So depending on the situation, depending how much income we have to work with, and really what the ultimate goal is it getting rid of all debt? Is it just getting the payments to a place where we can afford them monthly and be more comfortable? Then you and your coach are going to work on that action plan together.
Any audience questions? Oh, great.
Yeah, I can just shout.
Yep, go for it.
How much would you say to put in an emergency fund? You said like put cash aside, like where you could draw out without any dings. You know, like not drawing out of your retirement or anything. But yeah, I think I'm just trying to, like, we as a family are saving for emergencies, but like when do you stop? Like, is there a cap that you recommend?
Yeah, so the guidance or the recommendation is to set aside 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. So that would be your household expenses. So once you figure out what that number is, then you can know is that a cap that you want to stop at? Or is it then maybe you set another goal from there to have a different bucket? Like we've heard a lot about buckets today. So thinking 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses. And if that seems unrealistic, once you actually figure out those numbers, set a smaller goal to hit at least 1 month of one month's worth of living expenses, and then go from there. So really, it's figuring out what that number is. What is 1 month of living expenses for your household, or what is, if you're a single person, what does 3 to 6 months worth of expenses look like for you? Great question. Well, any other questions?
Would anyone like to share the goal that you wrote down?
Question.
Let's do that first.
So, you said it's the coaching is free. Is that for U.S. Bank holders only?
No.
Thank you for asking that.
anyone. That's a great question. US Bank is really invested in empowering people's potential, and not just for their account or a product or a client that they can be with us, but actually for growth, right? We all become stronger the better that we do. So goals coaching is open to anyone 18 years or older, regardless of whether you're applying with a bank or not.
To add to that, I met with a coach when we were trying to buy a house and have kids. Yeah, it was really helpful.
Great. So you had a good experience?
Good.
Good. So even something like that, we help people with, saving for a vitro or trying to prepare to grow their family. Everything ultimately ends up having some sort of financial underlying requirement. So just being prepared. Yes.
Have you ever helped people? I'm a divorce attorney, which sounds terrible, but have you ever helped
forgive you.
people manage their finances, like during temporary orders or finalizing their divorce, how they're going to move forward from there?
So we do couples sessions as well. So talking about money is hard, right? Keeping that communication. So we don't get into the legal portion of it, but we will help people understand what their current situation is and how they can work within the limitations that are stipulated in their divorce decree, so that they can make that adjustment, right? Going from 2 incomes to 1 income. Now, who's going to take care of what? And who's getting child support, or who's going to pay alimony? Those are things that for some are unexpected expenses, right? Because you're not planning for those things. So when they come up, how are you going to handle those situations? Great question. You're welcome.
I got a question. Well, I'm from Topeka, and I think there's a U.S. Bank there in Topeka, so is it just on those, 6, 8 people that you had on the slide up there? Is there someone more local that I could speak to face, or how it works?
Yeah. So we are certified coaches. We can help anyone throughout the United States, and we do it virtually. So you're going to be in the comfort of your home where you feel comfortable, on your phone or on your computer, having a conversation with one of us, a confidential conversation. So you don't necessarily have to meet in person with someone to be able to receive the service. And that allows us to cover people anywhere.
Then just to add to that, when we meet or when I meet one-on-one with clients, you would sometimes think that you're not going to feel that personable experience if you're meeting virtually, but I feel that personal experience when I'm meeting with my clients one-on-one, and I feel like most of them do as well. I will tell you, if you want to meet with me, be as open and honest and as vulnerable as you want to be, so I can help get to know you better. And then it helps just open the doors for you just to talk more comfortable, more freely, to really understand your own beliefs and your wants and how you got to where you are and really what's important to you, to help you set those goals and then start working on those action plans. And I feel like by saying that and, you know, having those personable conversations and then even sharing some stories to relate with you, it helps you open up just a little bit more. And it is nice to be able to do that from your own space rather than being in a branch with somebody that maybe you only want to tell them a little bit of information because you're not quite as comfortable telling them everything. I mean, I've had clients cry. I've even shed a few tears with them, but we definitely still try to make it as personable for you as we can.
Can you put up that disclaimer slide again? I didn't get to read all of it. That's one thing I did.
So we're pretty much not therapists or medical professionals.
We don't coach on physical, mental, or emotional health, but still, it's still important for you to, you know, be able to be open and honest with us so that way you can understand some of your goals and why they're important to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you so much for spending 45 minutes with us today. We greatly appreciate it. Please do not hesitate to get in touch if you would like to work directly with one of our goals coaches. And a big thank you to Holly and Anne for joining us today.